As far back as I can remember, I've been a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, always playing the games and consuming all available media. I don't know why I came to like it so much, why it was my fate, destined to be here forever. But as long as I'm here! June 23rd is Sonic's birthday, so I'll indulge and be posting Sonic related videos the entire month to celebrate the 34th anniversary of my favorite Blue Boy. To kick off Sonic Month, I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite songs, With Me by Emma Galot and Tina Karlsdotter from All Ends, and featuring guitarist Marty Friedman. More than just gushing about how great of a song With Me is as a song, I really want to touch on the different ways it tells a story and how those storytelling elements elevate the scene in which it plays. Before I get into the nitty gritty, naturally I'll be talking about the plot of Sonic and the Black Knight, the final boss, and character motivations as they're integral parts for this analysis. So here's your spoiler warning. If you care about the story and spoilers, play the game and then come back. No rush. Sonic and the Black Knight, released in 2009, takes place in the world of Arthurian legend. The game starts with a young wizard, Merlina, summoning Sonic to help defeat the evil and titular Black Knight, King Arthur himself. However, King Arthur cannot be harmed due to him possessing Excalibur's scabbard, which was enchanted with a spell that grants him both healing and immortality. In order to break the spell, Sonic must retrieve the legendary sword Caliburn, as well as the swords wielded by the Knights of the Round Table. Skipping to the end of the game, after killing King Arthur, he vanishes, leaving the scabbard behind. Sonic then confronts Merlina about that. Turns out Merlin, Merlina's grandfather, created a Shadow Knight, the common enemy you face in the game, to be this fake King Arthur and rule over Camelot. Merlina gazes into the future and sees the downfall and ruin of the Round Table and the kingdom. She summons Sonic to defeat King Arthur and retrieve Excalibur's scabbard so that she can cast a spell powerful enough to essentially make the kingdom eternal. When Sonic finds out the truth, he and the Knights of the Round Table rush to stop Merlina. Her motivation, I think, can best be summed up in one of her quotes, when she mutters to herself,
"Why do flowers bloom, knowing they are destined to wither? Their time of beauty is so short-lived."
Merlina is a character going through an existential crisis, terrified of death, represented by her desire to avoid Camelot's downfall. Her character is filled with so much sorrow and melancholy from beginning to end, and With Me captures this despair perfectly. With Me is Merlina's theme, which means its motif has been teased throughout the game. When you confront and fight her, that motif fully reveals itself as the final boss theme. As the story's climax and giving the narrative themes and character motivation, With Me had the unenviable task of needing to be, musically and lyrically, very intense and emotionally charged. On top of that, here's the thing about video game music. It's meant to be looped. This may present a problem, as the song now needs to maintain this intensity for however long it takes for the player to defeat the boss. How does With Me achieve this? The song is written and performed from Merlina's point of view, as she has a conversation with Sonic, as made clear by the first lyric of the song.
You know, every world will have its end. I'm here to prove it all to you. I am who you don't think I am. All wrapped up in my evil plan. I can taste the
Fitting of any good boss theme, there's a ton of posturing, and I just love some good old villain lines like "Do you dare to fight evil's might?" or "I'll create your final rest." My favorite one of this bunch being "Spells beyond you as I watch you crawl." Gotta love those gaudy lines like these. However, alongside villain lyrics like these, there are also lyrics acknowledging Sonic's strength and resolve, as well as some lyrics expressing sorrow and regret. Merlina is doing what she thinks must be done for the greater good, which includes striking down a friend. Most evidently, this sentiment is expressed in the verse that leads to the title of the song. With Me perfectly captures Merlina's sorrow, remorse, and undying determination in just 4 minutes. While the lyrics express these feelings, it is the music that makes us feel the way she does. I am of the belief that a song's instrumentation and arrangement are just as important to the musical storytelling as the lyrics. If I may indulge for a second, I do not like Hamilton. Never did. I have several reasons why I think Hamilton was a bad musical with okay songs at best, but the disconnect between the narrative context of the story and the arrangement of the songs representing those narrative beats, pun intended, is one of my main reasons. Genre of music, instrumentation, arrangement, all of these elements of a song are not just some spice or seasoning. They're as much of the main dish as harmony and composition are. Obviously, Sonic and the Black Knight is not a musical, however the idea still applies. It's just easier to use musicals as an example since music is the vehicle of storytelling in a musical, meaning the music is the most important part of the story, so it's easier to spot these type of creative decisions. The instrumentals of With Me set the mood and tone for the final battle, while the lyrics give us insight into Merlina's thoughts and feelings. Essentially, the song is functioning in a similar manner than it would in a musical without the characters themselves breaking into song. With Me is a high-octane heavy metal song, and I feel the rhythm section is this song's MVP. The driving distorted guitars and the bass coupled with a pounding drum beat give the song the energy and intensity worthy of any climactic battle. However, the guitars will sometimes break into arpeggios and those notes are left ringing, and there's this gentle sensation of lingering feelings. These lingering notes give this otherwise heavy song the air of melancholy and remorse that dwells in our POV character. Crush 40 did a cover of this song called the With Me Massive Power Mix, and the song is down-tuned to drop C, which makes it much heavier. I don't know if this was to accommodate to Johnny's voice, but I think this was more of a creative decision rather than a technical one. I bring this version up because I feel Sega and Crush 40 thought it would be a good idea to have a heavier alternative, but it actually kind of ruins the vibe of the song. With Me has this balance between the heavy metal intensity and the subtlety of melancholic sorrow. Leaning into the heavier sounds doesn't make it sound more powerful, but rather it robs it of its power. The original version is played in the standard tuning and it's in the key of E minor. This higher register I think allows the song to better balance these two sides. Moving on to the vocals. Emma Galot and Tina Karlsdotter have some incredible harmonies and the call response they have throughout the song add layers and dynamics. If you're wondering why I haven't mentioned Marty Friedman's guitar work, the reason is, in all honesty, I consider his guitar solos throughout the song as a third voice responding to Emma and Tina at the end of certain verses. I know this is a stretch, but I interpret this arrangement to represent the characters in the scene. Emma and Tina's back and forth map onto Merlina and Sonic, where Marty's guitar would be the talking, legendary sword itself, Caliburn. Is With Me the best villain theme of all time? No. Best final boss theme? Probably not. The competition is definitely tough in that department, even just within Sonic games. When I first wrote about With Me years ago, I mentioned how I thought it was quite underappreciated. However, I'm glad that Sonic and the Black Knight has been getting a re-evaluation as a game, and people have been appreciating its good aspects, which include With Me. It does so much with its lyrics and its music that enriches the rest of the story and the battle in Sonic and the Black Knight. When I first played Sonic and the Black Knight, I thought it was an okay game. I never really go back and play it, but the story stuck with me. I still feel the betrayal of that friend who all she wanted was for her country, her people, to prosper. I feel her wrath, her despair, her fear, but we've both set our resolve, and we know neither of us is going to back down. When the time comes to deliver that final strike of your sword, what's it gonna be? Will you turn away or face this day with me? Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on With Me in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this Monder, and hope to see you in the next one. Later.